Alright, folks, here we are with talking League of the Sea. I'm here with Yamineko and Quantenmecha. Both
Hi.
are admins of League of the Sea and will tell us what's going to happen the second season of League of the Sea. So guys, where do we start?
Well, we thought we would start with the rule set and just basically go through the entire thing once, go by points, and then just ask if there's any questions to every specific point in the chat, and then those can be answered live.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, then just start with the rules. It's all up on you.
Well, yeah, let's just wait a bit more until a few more can join in. Hello to all in chat first of all. Can you scroll down to the first? Alex?
Can I call?
Can you scroll down to the first point, because I can't scroll, you know.
So you mean
You need to use the Discord video chat confer feature. That may be a solution.
yeah, for the future then.
Scroll to 1.1.
General info. Okay, yeah. Got it.
Alright, although this should be a pretty obvious point, the first of the dates, the commence date will be on the 18th September, which will also be the first match day, and we will have our last match day on the 19th of November, most likely, which means 10 weeks, one extra week. This should be the expected date for the entire season, and it's probably not going to change much. Yeah, I don't think there are any questions for the dates.
Probably not.
But I'm just trying to stretch this here so some more people can join in case they missed that it started.
Yeah, they can always watch the stream afterwards as well.
Yeah, true. Let's go on with the registration itself. We'll start the registration next week on Monday, so in like 8 days. And the end of the registration will be on the 3rd of September, so 2 weeks before the season itself starts. We'll have two types of registrations, of course, new registrations and re-registrations. So basically all the teams that have already been in one league will still have to re-register with the same form that everyone else will register for. But of course they'll have a little of a difference in seeding and all that else. But they still have to register. You're not automatically signed up for the second season, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty standard, but it has to be said, you know.
Yeah, that was not without any like. Yeah, I don't know the word now. I'm a bit exhausted from today. Yeah, judgment, exactly.
Yep. Any questions to that?
Yeah, let me get quick.
Just ask the question in the chat while we explain the points. We'll answer it afterwards. And, if there's no questions, we'll just go on to the next ones, respectively. Alright, then the format. We basically copied the. I mean, that was the issue limitation. Okay, the format is basically tier 8 only, as known. We'll have 7 versus 7 or 9 versus 7. The default is 7 versus 7.
And 9 versus 9.
What?
You said 9 versus 7.
Oh yeah, 9 versus 9, right? And yeah, the default is 7 versus 7, but we expect the higher leagues to play 9 versus 9, of course. You basically have to, as in last season, both teams have to agree on the 9 versus 9. But if both do, that's fine. Just if there is like a disagreement, the fallback 7 versus 7. As just said, we expect all the higher leagues to play 9 versus 9, but we gave them the option. So in case we had a few reports last season that people weren't like that we didn't have unified rules for all leagues. So we tried unifying it, and that was the result. Basically, the fallback for everyone is now 7 versus 7, but 9 versus 9 is an option for all leagues up until the lowest. And of course, we will have the tournament and domination mode on the maps, as usual.
What? No standard battles? What the hell?
Yes, no standard battles. We had to let that go after a lot of tears and internal discussions.
Also, no epicenter.
Yeah, Epicenter would be
Yeah.
fine, but the best would be Epicenter on Tears of the Desert, right?
Oh no, please, please don't.
Yeah. Alright, first question, how will the decision be made between battles 7 versus 7, 9 versus 7? Basically, the two team captains talk before the match with each other what they want. If they both agree on 9 versus 9, then that will be played. If they can't agree on anything, or if there are like minor disagreements on the game day itself, the fallback that we will rule upon will be 7 versus 7.
Yeah, makes sense in a way, I would say.
And Fuji, you had two questions. Where's the second?
Maybe just that was autocorrect.
Maybe.
You answered the second question with him, I guess.
Awesome. Alright. I'll just ask if you still have the second question, and I'll answer it as soon as I see it.
Exactly. Go on to ship limitations, I guess, then.
Yeah, I would say so. Right, yeah, the ship limitations are basically the King of the Sea rules. We decided to copy those rules because they have been proven the King of the Sea is very enjoyable, or more enjoyable for both the streamers and the teams. And so we just used it. It is 1 CV, 2 battleships, 1 Kutuzov, and 2 USDDs including Wing. Fuji, that will be answered later. Yeah, and no ships from Super Test are not accessible to players as usual, except for the Alabama Super Test.
Yeah, that are quite easy ship limitations. The second
yeah, also
question appeared,
these are
by the
the
way.
limitations for 7 versus 7 and 9 versus 9. We might adjust that though if we say that VPs are too much for 7 versus 7, but for now this is the current limitation for all the formats.
Up to
And
1.5.
yeah, as I said, Fuji's question will be answered later when we come to that point.
Okay. So we go on to map pool then, I guess.
Yes. Unless there's a question to the ship limitations, but there was some controversy on the Discord around it. Okay. Yeah. Map pool is extended now. We have two kinds of maps. Basically, we have the maps that will be. Why is the sound so low? And Andrej just said, why is the sound so low?
Which
Alex?
sound is low is the question. Because my volume is up to the max.
Well, then you have to reduce your sound and to up the sound of the stream, right?
That might be a thing, yeah. Okay, let's see. Is it better?
I don't know. You have to ask a chat. I mean,
Yeah, ask the chat.
we have to tell him something so they can
Yeah, I mean, there should not be any delay, so it should be immediate results. Also, hello.
Oh, much better. Okay, that
Yeah,
was the
alright
case then.
That's nice. So yeah, map pool. We see the schedule.
Yeah. The schedule.
Which one do you mean, like the start of the league and so on? That's the first point. You can still see it at the top. Like league commences the 18th of September, and last match day.
I can post a calendar if you want. I mean,
Yeah,
it's empty,
the calendar is still being adjusted though, so it's not final yet. We will
Okay.
adjust it according to the team size and so on.
I mean, basically it's the same as season 1, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the schedule for League 1 and so on is not finished yet, of course, because we haven't even started the registration process of teams yet. So we can give you the schedule, of course, but it's not adjusted at all. So it's what it is right now. Okay, back to the map pool, I would say. Basically, we added a few new maps to the map pool. We will pick like out of these in the first line as the map of the day, which we'll explain later. And then we also have free maps and additional maps that can be picked by the teams on the game days themselves if they want to play that. Which will be Ocean, Atlantic, and North, and the other maps will be picked once during the entire season. Yeah, and the others won't. You can just add it. And of course, the tournament domination mode must be played if available. This is because we want to enforce good spawns and so on. And we also expect that Wargaming might add more to those in the future. Or at least we hope so. And any other map that is not available in the tournament mode that will be played in the domination mode. Actually, we had more complaints about a certain other map than we had about Ocean. Ocean was actually listed by some teams. Maps like Okinawa weren't. Let's put it that way.
Well, let's see how it works out, right? I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe we just see the Ocean on some low tier leagues or some high tier leagues.
Is OM or Omni in the league? We don't know yet. I mean, the registrations, as I said, not open yet. So we'll find out at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, at the end would be a bit late, I would say.
Yeah, I know. I meant at the end of the registration process. We'll see. We can expect them to, though, if we have to. We'll come to that in the next one, I think.
So, prize pool or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
1.6.
next.
Go to
Yeah, it's
1.6.
the prize pool.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah, you have to scroll now.
Oh, also there's a link to the document where the spawn points are mentioned, right? If you need them.
Yeah, also by Ocean, as I said, we had some requests for this map, and we also decided internally that this map was one of the more suited for competitive. Unlike, as I said, Okinawa or something like that. Anyway, not to the prize pool. The probably most interesting point because it's so like prices are still a work in progress. Basically, we were still in negotiation with Wargaming, and they currently have a lot to do with Gamescom, so they can't really get back to us immediately. However, you can assume when you register that there will be prices, and we'll announce whether we will have prices or not before the start, so you can still take back your registration in case you don't like the prices given or that there are no prices at all. But if you make your registration, you can assume there will be prices, but we don't know yet, of course. That depends on Wargaming's answer.
I guess everyone gets 10 restless fire flags and the flag you can mount on your ship.
Yay! No, we'll hope for a bit more, but we'll see. As I said, they're currently really busy with Gamescom and so they can't give us a final answer yet.
Okay. Alright.
But of course, we are well aware that many teams would like prices, and some of them will only participate when there are prices. So we're really behind this, and we really hope the prices this time around.
You promise you don't bait the teams that like to play for prizes into it, and
As
then
I
you
said,
have no prize. So
yeah, this won't happen. As I said, we'll clarify whether we'll have prices or not before the league itself starts. So teams can still take back the registration at that point.
Alright, good. So then we are on point 2.1.
Yes.
Oh, point
Which is also down again.
1. Yep. So there we are.
All right. Yeah. The registration itself, like what a team means and who is eligible, hasn't changed much. We have a team that registers for the tournament. That consists out of as many clans as you desire, and every member in that clan can participate in its team. There is you can only have one clan for one team. That means one clan can't be in two teams at the same time. And each community can submit a maximum of 3 teams. That means, for example, MDiv won't be able to submit more than 3 teams, and neither will Wargaming Pay to Win, for example. But yeah, 3 is the maximum, which also changed from 2 from last time. And lastly, I can only participate in 1 team, which should be obvious. So we won't allow any team hopping or so. But I will also clarify.
Rip end.
Yeah, and also I think we have mentioned that in seeding, but in case this isn't obvious, teams of the same community won't be able to play in the same league. We will put them in different leagues so there can't be any foul play between them. And they also won't be able to league up or down into another league where one of their community clans is in. Yeah.
Okay, so then we go on. The
Yep.
leagues.
2.2.
Alright, the leagues themselves. So, of course, we make the league sizes depend on the amount of team registrations. Since we haven't opened that process yet, we don't know yet how many teams there will be. As last time, everyone battles everyone. And in case of league expansion or compensation, this one will be made. That's also, I think clear. We also have the same as we said last season, that the first 2 teams of the league will be promoted, and the last 2 teams of the league will be relegated. And this is the same time as last time, in case both teams are still even, the outcome then can't do a determine placement. Last time we had 8 teams in 7 leagues. We'll change that according to the amount of registrations. We do expect a bit more this time around, so we'll probably change it a bit, but we'll see. The exact amount will be, of course, decided when we actually have the registrations. Yeah.
Okay. Seeding for new clans. What is this?
This is going to be faster than I expected.
Oh yeah, German efficiency here. Wait, Olsen asked a question. More teams per league or more leagues? We're actually open to both. We do expect. We haven't 100% decided on this yet, but you can most likely expect an increase in the the amount of
League
teams
size.
in the leagues.
And the thing is, or one thing I would say is like, if you have too many teams in the league, isn't there or is there an issue, or maybe then the issue occurs that you don't have enough time for, like, from the start to the end to play all the games, because like if there are 10 teams in one league. So
Yes, this is why we.
Isn't it restricted by that already?
Yes, we have already set a limit to the league duration. Like in the first dates, we have like last date, like the last game week, which limits us to 10 weeks maximum, which means 10 teams maximum, and that will be our really hard limit on the amount of teams per league. Yes. So yeah, because it's in the game date, the maximum amount of teams, it should be fine. I mean, we're not making it indefinitely long. 10 is the maximum, and we have communicated that in the rules as well and in the dates too.
And there's also the option that we may open like League 7 or League 8 or another league and at the bottom, yes. So we can stretch that a bit.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we're open to all this, but we'll see how it goes with the registrations. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, seeding for new clans. This is the same as last time. Because we already have a few old clans. The old clans will be just placed where they left it, basically. So we will first do all the promoting and relegations, and then we'll have a few free slots because some clans left, or maybe because we do these extensions, and then we'll put new clans depending on their win rate. Since this was a lot cost, we have chosen the rate as a seeding because other ratings are either not played for all clans or can also be cheated or imbalanced, and so we decided on the most easiest metric. And of course, some clans might not be correctly sorted by this, but they will be compensated by promoting or relegating after the league. And as I said, there isn't really a perfect metric for this, or even a more accurate. Every metric can be cheated or is not complete, so we just went with the easiest one, and that's the reasoning behind the win rate. Yeah. And what else? Yeah, we have the season index, which basically shows how many seasons you have been in the League of the Sea before. This is just more of a visual thing, so other clans know why you have been seeded into the league you were, and not like by win rate like everyone else of the new clans is. It's just small visual hint that you have participated in former leagues.
Yes, and it helps the administration to keep track of these things.
Yes.
Makes sense, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, one question I have is like, if OM or Omni would participate, would they like be seeded into League 1 directly because of their win rate? Because that's their value is pretty much one of the best.
Yes. That was exactly our worry as well, with our, which is why we're keeping the extension to 10 open. Basically, they said we'll first do all the promotion relegation, then we have a certain amount of free slots in every league. And of course, Omni and OM would have to go into League 1 if possible at all, because obviously they would just beat up everyone in League 2, and it would be a very boring league for them, or season for them. And also, if we have really easy prize money for them. So yeah, we'll try to get Omni and OM in the respective League 1, depending on how it goes. And yeah, we'll sort by win rate, and they also have the highest rate of all the clans we expect, so this would also make sense. Yeah.
There was a
question.
Did you see the question of Storage Boy?
Just reading it. As I said, we can't really. There isn't really any all-spanning metric that could really help us determine anything here or everything here. So we have to go by some metric. And for example, we can't take the one that Konian proposed because it doesn't span all clans, like the clan rating made by
JCVV.
Yeah, thank you. And we can't really take any other metric in consideration, like what else would you take, like average kills, or how often have they trained in the past weeks, and with proof of their training and so on. So we will go by win rate, and if, as I said, a clan is stronger or weaker, they will get relegated or promoted. And we will aim that we give prizes not only to the first of each league, and hope that this will kind of sweeten it up. But yeah, we can't really make a metric that does everyone justice, so we kind of have to do it like this. As pointed out by someone else, like clans like RN and so on, also rather new, and they did really well. And those would be like fucked if we took the metric for all clans, like the spreadsheet one. Yeah, so we basically decided win rate as the most easy and comprehensible one. Yeah.
Okay. But it seems as if there are no questions anymore to this regarding this point. So let's proceed to 2.4. Compensation. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
That's a quick point, I guess.
Yeah, it's just handling when someone when in a case. Of course, if can you scroll down a bit more? think there was a bit more to
No,
that.
2.4 is only like
Ah, okay, yeah.
or 3 list dynamics, threes. There's one more. You have to scroll down a tad.
Yeah, I did.
It's over. There we go. Basically, the only last line is really important. Resign clan team will be replaced by a clone team clan. That's basically, as soon as we have seeded all the teams and one team says no, we don't want anymore, then we just simply replace them with another team that fits the bill. And as soon as one match was played, there will be no compensations anymore, no replacements, just like last season. The clan will simply be, like all results against them will be voided and so on. As none from last season.
Okay, yeah. So it's basically more or less of the same. Like last season, unless not basically. Unless, but the last point is like the new one, right?
Yeah, we just made a quick summary to make it clear what we want to say of this.
Okay. So 2.5 then.
Which will also be rather I think.
I think you talked about it already.
Yeah, we've already dipped into this. This is just the specification, like the upper limit. As I said before, the expansions to clans teams are possible in each league. This is the maximum that we are willing to go to. And the expansion squads affect every league, so we won't have like 10 players in League 1 and then 8 clans in League 2 or something like that. Yeah, and we'll of course make depending on how many registrations we get and where these registrations will have to be seeded and so on.
Okay, so that's it then. I just wrote, read chat, that's why I didn't listen too much.
Yeah, you just,
so you
yeah, the video of the day
2.5?
Yeah.
Okay, then 2.6, team, yeah, it's kind of this. Ah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is the opposite case. We have so little registrations that we can't even sustain 8 teams per league anymore, or 6 or 7 leagues. And in which case we would of course make it smaller. But we don't expect this. But we have added it to the rule set regardless, so we have case handling for this. Well, that's basically it.
Okay. Mods! Oh, that should be interesting.
Yeah, mods is
like 1.6. Sweet but short.
The mods is pretty straightforward. If it's an Iceland or the Wargaming mod pack, you are free to use it, and it's a safe use. If it's not in those two, but still legal by Wargaming terms of service, we'll most likely allow it by a case-by-case basis. But those mods are very safe, and you can just use them. And the others, all in terms of service, if it can get banned you by Wargaming, then don't use it. That's the gist of it.
Makes sense, yeah. But the best point is training room must be enabled.
Yeah, this is an obvious one because, well, we need the training room.
Yeah.
You can also do it without a mod if you want. Yeah. This needs to be enabled.
Obvious is obvious, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, just team reduction. Yeah, less than 4 clans per league is not gonna be a thing anymore, because as we saw from last season in League 7, 3 teams isn't exactly pleasant to play.
Yeah. So we believe we have more than 4 teams per league, you know.
Yeah.
Given the what's the word? Interest from other clans, right? We think we have it under control in that direction.
Yes.
Okay, then we are going to the third chapter.
Points. Yeah, game day. This from now on forward, it's my theater.
Okay.
I believe so.
He's the boss now.
Alright.
Kneel before me, mere mortals.
Then you have the word, Mr. Quantenmecha.
Nice name, right?
Yep.
So clans will agree on, well, when and where they will be playing, right? I mean, that too is kind of obvious. As mentioned, then in item 2, you can play all week, Monday to Sunday included, and well, the team captains have to talk to each other in order to get an actual valid date and time for their matches. The matches also, they have to be registered in the calendar. As you see, it's linked. We hope the team captains will use that to, well, kind of tell the rest of the community when they will be playing. Also,
sorry
yeah.
to interrupt you. Are these links, like the calendar or the map pool pics, are on your Discord server, I guess, somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, or will be.
Will be linked when finalized in the document.
Okay.
Exactly, we have something like they had in KOTS, right, where you have one link which leads you to a website with all the other links. Because like Discord isn't really good in keeping tabs on links and such like. So there will be a link to a document and there will be all the other links you ever need. Of course, this is kinda, I don't know if it's different on a league by league basis. I believe so, right?
Which ones?
Like,
yeah,
like
the
results,
documents, yeah.
results and such like.
Yeah, the results and lineups and documents will be different league to league, which is why we have an extra document channel for each league.
Right.
Last time we just put it into the league channel. Of course, everyone had to scroll or watch the stickies for that. This time we'll just have a separate document channel for the leagues, most likely. And there you can just have the links selected together. That should be easier for everyone.
Exactly. So, no more scrolling for the links. Putting your date in the calendar also means that the streamers will know when to stream if they have time. So we hope this feature is going to be widely used.
Yeah, that was quite nicely. You can, like, once the game was scheduled, the streamer can just say, okay, I have time, or I want to stream that one. That was pretty good with the sheets.
Yeah, exactly. We thought so, so we've now made it obligatory to use the calendar.
Yeah.
Well, next item, well, if two team captains can't agree on a date, Sunday is basically the last possible valid date. Well, as last possible match day. However, if they can't even play on Sunday, they have to go to the administration and ask so they can play on the following Monday as kind of a really very last match day. We hope that is not used very widely, so we can just like say Sunday is the last match day, but experience showed us that this is not always the case.
No.
So
on the other hand, we also had a few. Yeah, on the other hand, we also had a few teams who used the Monday, the exception night, as kind of
as a regular day.
And yeah, and we basically we'll first tell you to on Sunday, and we'll try to force that. And if you still can't come, either of you, then we'll force the Monday. Like if you both have excuses for why you can't come on Sunday, then we might also agree on Monday. Not unlike last time, where basically some teams saw it as a given that Monday could be used for games as well. That we want to prevent this time around.
Exactly. Now, if you could scroll down a bit, there's still a bit more in 3 point.
Yep, did it.
So next point is, well, if you still don't play on Monday, well, you didn't play at all. Basically, if you don't play on Monday, neither team receives any points and you go home empty. I hope that's well understood. I mean, at that point you had 8 days to play and we have to make a point somewhere.
What is it when for example, like one team can play on the Sunday and
like,
the other
next
one...
point. Like that's exactly the next item.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like in case one team can play and the others just couldn't, the team which could play just make screenshots and to show us and say, well, we were here, we had our like 7 or 9 members, but the enemy team wasn't there. And well, then we know we can give point based on that, right? So we don't punish teams for being able to play, but for having like a bad opponent. Pardon the pun. But basically that's it, right? If you can play, you get points, or you have the chance to get points. It's never such that you can play but you don't get points because the opponent doesn't want to play.
Mm.
Also, if you have your own streamer, discuss that with your opponent. Some teams don't like streamers from the opposing team based upon that the streamers could potentially like lead the team or give some tips or something or spy or whatever. So if you like to bring your own streamer, ask the enemy team first, so that they can like veto it or not.
Yeah, or just take someone that is neutral and put him on your stream as well, or something like that.
Something. Yeah. Maybe other streamers don't have time or whatever. Maybe they want to replay for themselves and tell their streamer like for what's the word? Analyzing later or something, like have a look there and there, and so the player, the streamer is not streaming the most enjoyable viewpoints, but like the points where the teams have made mistakes or something. So we believe that this is fair to say to diffuse such situations where some team has thoughts about something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So next point, I guess then communications. Yeah. All right.
Communications. This is well. How to
Oh, wait
talk
a
to
second.
your
We have
opponent.
a question from Stroz. Right. Can we just bring spectators that won't stream? I think we would say no to that, right? I mean,
yeah, I agree. This is like why we have that point. Like neutral spectators can just watch the stream because they don't need to be in the room, but the teams may think they are streamers or what else. So that's just adds to the confusion potentially. But if they are streamers, then well, they're streamers, right? They have a.
What we also want to prevent is some team just taking an extra pair of eyes to watch for torpedoes or for some plays and just have a better view on the entire battlefield right from the start. That is also something we want to prevent, which is why the spectators need to be neutral and not be assigned to one clan.
Yeah,
exactly. Well put.
And usually it delays it. I mean, streamers already delay it normally somehow because you have to wait for them or not, or yeah.
Prevent stream sniping.
But if you have to explain, okay, can someone of us can spectate and so on, it takes more and more time. So yeah, I think reducing complexity in this way makes a lot of sense.
Thank you very much. So 3.1 communications, how to talk to your opponent. First way to do that is Discord. The Discord link is in the document and a lot of players already joined our Discord with something like 200 players already present. Second platform is TeamSpeak. I believe you have, I don't know, the diplomacy list. I believe that's kind of up to date. Or
diplomacy list, no.
No? Okay. Well, still, the League of Sea Discord is there to, kind of make your dates with opponent or what else. This also means communications not only to your to the enemy teams, also with the admins, which is why the TeamSpeak and Discord is our Discord and TeamSpeak. Also keep in mind the time zones, which is the next item. We have some teams from all over Europe and beyond that. So keeping tabs on time zones is very important in some cases, which is why you should always add a time zone identificator to your Oh,
there's a small typo.
Right. Really? Okay.
Yeah, we have DLTS.
Oh, right. Basically from the German, right? Die LTS. Wait. No.
As you can see, the admin team is pure German, so we have some
translation issues.
Yes. But we hope that the entire rule set is correct in the entirety. And if there's any mistakes, just let us know. We'll fix them as soon as possible.
Right. And of course, next item, each team is obligated to have at least one spokesperson on the LOTS Discord server, so other teams can contact them, and I believe that's a reasonable solution for that. They can be more more people from the team. That's okay. Well, yeah. So there is a kind of a, well, if one of your guys is just like have a vacation or is in a hospital or like stuck in traffic, it's better to have a second person there already up to make up for the shortfall.
Also, since we are on the topic of languages, we'll most likely have a few other rule sets in other languages like French also. But however, if you want to refer to a specific rule to invoke something like if you think the auto party cheated and you want to invoke a certain rule like 3.1 or so, then only the English and the German rule set will be counted, as we do not translate the French or any other language ourselves, but we let it translate by someone else for convenience. And so we can't be 100% sure if the rules will be reflected correctly there. So if you have a problem with the rules, then only refer to the German or English rule set. Just as a quick intermission.
Correct. I believe that's not even mentioned in the rule set.
No, it's not, but we'll mention it when we release the other rule sets.
Right.
The other rule sets?
Yeah, we have like French and I don't know, Spain or something.
Okay.
We got in contact with some people who want to translate for convenience, so we said, okay, do it and we'll release it.
But they are enough unofficial, so German and English ones are the official ones, which is why only they can be referred to.
Yeah, it was. I understand it the way that like, what there are coming more rules in kind of rule sets. So
No, more just like translations of this one.
exactly,
No more
yeah,
rules,
the
just...
point you talked about. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Sorry for the
No,
interruption.
this is why we're here. No problem. I don't have problems with interrupting me on stream or something. Really, I don't. I actually don't. On to 3.2 is yeah.
Yeah.
3.2 map rules.
Yep, scrolled.
Like nothing really new there. 3 matches will be played.
There's actually something new there.
Really?
Yeah, because we moved the in season 1 the first map was the predetermined map picked by us, but now we moved it to the back because of course the map picked by the home team or guest team will always be like more to their suiting. So we'll expect like a 1-to-1 there after the first 2 maps, and then the predetermined map will be the match decider. That's how it was originally intended, but how it didn't work out. So we moved the predetermined map to the end.
Exactly. So first map will be chosen by home team. Second map will be chosen by away team. Spawns will also be chosen by the home team or guest team respectively. Scroll down further, please. There is, well...
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot more, and those points are usually kind of forgotten because of the picture in the middle.
Just say when I... Oh, yeah, okay. Got it.
Alright. So this is just in, well...
Is it
home
okay?
versus guest. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. I said first match home team picks spawn, second match guest team picks spawn, third match home team is placed in team 1. In the in-game lobby that is left side. Also linked to the spawn locations mentioned there, which can be referred to. Also default time to default is 10 minutes, which means if you have a date and time for your encounter with another team, both teams have 10 minutes, well, they can be late up to 10 minutes after that, or they lost. I mean, right?
This also goes for the matches, like the times in between matches.
Yeah, well, those are basically the same, right? I mean,
yes.
So say starting time is like, say, 8 PM, team A is there, team B, well, nowhere inside. Which means at 8 PM 10, Team A has won, they just need to make a screenshot, technically go to the administration, tell them one, well, Team B did not appear, and well, but this only counts for each match. Basically, if Team B doesn't was there for the first match, they may still be playing the second and third match, right? So even if you're late more than 10 minutes for the first match, you have a chance to win the complete encounter.
Okay.
But for convenience sake, if they didn't appear for the second match either, Team A just won this complete encounter because, well...
Yeah, but you mean
right. I mean, technically we get to that in points because technically 2.1, if one team... Well, I'm getting to that in 3.3, right? So I can back reference there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
points.
well, I have a question here. I
Okay.
think it makes sense to ask that because you refer what is match for you?
Match
Is
means match means specifically as you is the first line in 3.1, 3.2. 3 matches will be played. One match means one game. 20 minutes, one time. This is
okay.
one match. Basically, you go in the room one time.
Okay, so but how can a team that has not shown up for the first game be there for the second? Because the team, the home
yeah, okay, but because you need like 7 people at least to be able to play, right? So they maybe have 6 players, which means they are not eligible to play the first match.
Basically, we just the general ruling here is we want both teams to play. So if both teams agree on either on this, then we are the last ones to say you can't play. And like if one is like 15 minutes late and the other team still says we want to play this, and of course we also allow 5 minutes. This is just a rule set for when there's really like problems or teams that really want to enforce rules or want to have a security, like a fallback. And also the same is like if they can't like join for the first game, and then the other team can say we want all 3 wins and they will get it. Like if they're late more than 10 minutes and they won't show up, then they don't have to wait like 30 minutes.
yeah, exactly,
was
because I
asking
was
also.
like, I mean,
Yes.
how
this
can
was-
you measure when the first games end or the first match ends of the
Yeah.
3 matches, and then suddenly the enemy team that didn't appear for the first game is appearing for the second game in exclamation marks?
Because basically one game ends when the other one starts. Basically at the end of the first 10 minutes period, the second game is technically going to start.
Well,
That-
Mark,
that's
the
how
last time we ruled it that after the first no-show, after the first 10 minutes, was already a bye for all 3 games.
Well, I
Oh, that's-
specifically asked this question on Discord, and I believe it was answered another way.
Hmm.
I specifically
We'll
asked
ask this again and we'll clarify that in the rules.
I mean, I can. Well, I'm just scrolling down the Discord now. I believe I asked a question because someone asked me exactly this question. Ah, that's crap.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because yeah, how do you measure it? I mean, if you say okay, if the team is 10 minutes late by default, then it's a loss. The whole 3 games is a loss, I guess then.
Yeah, that's how
Okay,
it was
so
ruled
if-
one time last
Yeah,
time.
okay, then it's pretty clear. So then normally you don't have to bother.
So now, well, I have something from Stone here based on Discord.
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's basically when they are just run late, but they're like still telling you right after these 10 minutes, and you can still play the other rounds.
Exactly, which is what I meant, right? I hope that is how I put it. Well, even if
Yeah.
one team loses the first match due to those 10 minutes because like they only have 6 players and they don't have a 7th player, they can still play the second and third match.
So basically, if the team doesn't show up at all, you can just you can get all 3 wins after 10 minutes. But if they're like we have one player that's like 15 minutes late, and then you can say the first one is lost, but the second one is played regardless.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Also, both teams have to make sure, well, like the timer spawns and maps are set correctly, especially because it happened at some times in Season 1 that maps were played which were not in the map pool. Well, I hope this is not going to happen anymore, but better have an eye on that. So both
Yeah.
teams have to make sure to play the right map or the right timer. Like playing 10 minutes on Ocean isn't fun. Well, as said, in the event of mistake, just inform your opponent and restart with the correct settings. Usually this is well, like pretty clear in the first 1 or 2 minutes in the match. So this shouldn't be a problem. Like just make sure the map is in the map pool and well, all is fine.
Andragic asked a question if both
Yeah, okay, I really well delayed. You have basically Monday to Sunday to play the game, right? You have actually 7 days to play the game. So if you play on Tuesday and both teams say like we don't want to play now, well, yes, you can delay, but please inform the streamer. If there is a streamer, please inform him or her, and then you can reschedule. But after the last
Both teams
Sunday,
agree. We
yeah, basically yes, but only within one game day. Like you can't say, like, well, let's just play this game in 2 weeks. This is not possible.
Yeah, within the game week you can move it wherever you like, as soon as it's 24 hours before. Yeah, that's also fine. If you both agree on a delay, that's totally fine. As long as you don't have a streamer, and then in that case you also have to communicate that to the streamer.
Oh,
But in
yeah,
general, as I said, we want players, we want teams to play. So if they are both in agreement on like moving it like for 15 minutes, we'll
that's
be the
okay.
last ones to say no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely do that.
Just
So-
don't overdo it and like move it back by I don't know 5 hours. Yeah. Like we're reasonable with this, but if you try to abuse it, then we'll just bring down the Vanhammer and just be like, nope.
So 3.3 points. There is actually changes in the point system.
Yeah.
Basically, forget what we did in season 1. In season 3, only you will only get points for 3 matches. You have to play all 3 matches. Basically, the winning team always gets 3 points, no matter if they win like 3-0 or 2-1. The losing team only gets 1 point if they actually win 1 match, but the losing team doesn't get any points if they don't win any matches, right? So if they lose 3-0, they don't get any points. Also, if they don't compete, like not present at a specified date and time, they don't get any points either. Only the home team have to submit those results. We have a Google form for that, including, I don't know, screenshots included in that form? I don't know. I believe so, right?
Yeah, we wanted
Yeah.
to unify this as well, yeah.
Exactly. So in the Google form for the results, the home team can also put the screenshots from the personal score and team score.
No, actually, no. The screenshots are not required anymore. You just
No?
need to keep them. No, we
Oh,
just.
right, must save, right.
Yeah,
They can, but basically you have to make screenshots from the personal score and team score tabs, just in case someone is going to dispute such a match or game. So you have to do some claiming, some claim to the truth,
Yeah.
right? Exactly, Mjagic, no more emailing.
Yeah. But
If you need them, we just ask.
Yeah, but if you try to say after the match, this client cheated on us, and you don't have any screenshots, don't expect anything from us. We won't move it an inch. So still make those screenshots, still save them, and yeah, just in case something happens. Unless you trust your opponent, then I guess you don't have to do that.
True.
Just for the stupid me, for stupid me, what means draw?
Draw.
That means if someone delays and there are only 2 games.
No, we are talking about a literal draw here. Like an actual
basically,
draw.
like you have like both teams
point.
have 500 points and then the time's over, right? So you have an actual draw in a game. In a
Ah,
match.
okay.
This happened in King of the Sea 3, so we had to like. It's very unlikely, but we still had to cover in the rule set because it happened as proven before.
Okay.
So here's our solution. Very innovative and well.
Okay, so 3.3 is done then, I guess.
Exactly.
So
I would like to
Should
say
be.
I would like to see a team that actually tries to do this as often as possible, as many draws as possible.
yeah, doubt that will happen too much.
Maybe
Yeah.
they just talk to their opponents and say, well, just wait. Let's just wait 20 minutes and
Yeah, but that's not allowed either. So yeah.
3.4 ship lineups and player changes. Again, team lineups and picks have to be submitted via Google Form. KOTS did that, we did that in Season 1. No news there.
We actually have a new rule, like a new addition to that though, because we're also submitting the map picks now. So
Exactly.
before it was only the ship lineups, but now you also submit the maps as well. Just to be on the safe side that we know which map you picked and there is
Exactly.
no.
And you can only pick valid maps, so you can't pick like islands or Okinawa. This is just not possible. Just to make sure you're like you know I'm going to play this map. That's again, you can't change lineup before once you submitted a lineup, you can't change it. And if a match is well, have to be restarted because I don't know, wrong map, wrong timer, or disconnect or whatever, you have to start with the same lineup. You don't have to submit it another time. You just well, go in the lobby with a lineup. Two ships actually. You can possibly you may it's the lineup is set to ships. You can switch players between matches.
Also,
So,
in case of restart, you can switch the players in the ships if you want. Just the ships have to stay the same.
So if a player disconnects and like a provider crashed or something, you can take another player and he has to play with the same ship, or move around a bit so you have the same lineup, but actually some other persons on each ship. Well, you can't put actually 3 BBs in the lineups. Those who played last season know that there is a website where you can look at and it says like valid lineup or unvalid lineup. We're going to make the same here, and if you just submit 3 battleships, this page tells you not valid, please submit again.
You know that's from King of the Sea.
Well, actually, that's for me, right? I
Yeah, no, I
did
mean,
it for
I'm just
IDF
saying,
and
Andrejik knows that system from King of the Sea.
yeah, they were the first to actually implement it wide scale.
Yeah.
But basically, those website tells you 3 BBs not possible and submit again. Again, if you're like go into the match with 3 battleships and no one notices and you're actually in the game, just restart. No, you will not. I mean, you will not be able to see the lineups of the enemy. You will see them in the training room lobby. Like the first time you see them is when both teams already submitted their lineups. And if you believe they cheated, like only go in with one player, look what you have, and then like counter your lineup. They can't because they actually submitted a lineup and just text an admin. He will have a look at the submitted lineup and the actual lineup, and if something's wrong, he will tell you. So well, no need to be worried. No one is going to counter your lineup.
Yeah, exactly. No, nobody countering it. It's just for us, like if the team enters the training room and then just looks at the lineup and then re-enters and just adjusts their lineups. That's what we want to prevent. So both teams have to submit their lineups before they open the room.
And we actually
so nothing
recommend
of this business happens.
Yes, and we actually recommend to only open the room and join it if both teams submitted the lineups, and you can see if a lineup is submitted by looking to the aforementioned website, where you will see if a lineup is valid or not. You can also see if your enemy's lineup is valid or not. You do not see the lineup, you just see if it's valid, or whether the admin see it. So no need to be worried again. Well, I believe. Alright, well.
You have already had
team hopping, right? Team hopping we didn't mention.
Yeah,
so
team
hopping basically one team can be, and we did that, right? So like if a player switches in-game clans, he's not eligible for playing in any team anymore. So if a player switches from like I don't know Flying Ducks to like I don't know Omni or whatever, I just picked those clans on random, so don't interpret anything in it. So he can't play in any team, neither in Flying Ducks team nor on Omni team. Same goes for teams. Basically, if you have a team made up of 3 in-game clans, like we had in Season 1 with like, what was it? Nezi, Alliance, and MSB. If some player changes from Alliance to Nezi, he can't play anymore.
No, you can't. If it's like the team hopping is not permitted, means you can't hit hop teams. But if a clan is like if a team has registered for clans and won, like for example MDiv2 last time had MDiv2 and MDiv3, you can still freely switch between MDiv2 and MDiv3, but you can't go to MDiv1, for example.
And again,
that's why we changed that from clan hopping to team hopping.
Exactly. A last minute change. Also,
Yes.
if a new player joins you, like a player without a clan, or at least a player who was not in a clan which is currently playing in League of the Sea, he is eligible to play in the current season, right? So if somehow you get a very good new player, or you just need one for cannon fodder, he or she is eligible for playing. On to 3.5. Disputes. Now this is a fun section. Basically it means admins are sitting on a couch and doing nothing until they're poked. Okay,
disputes are not allowed. We don't want to get up from our couch.
Exactly. So ignore what you see. Disputes are not allowed. No, fun aside. A lineup, no, you have to submit your lineup like before you enter the training room. Basically, you can tell your opponent, basically say the set time and date is like 8 PM. If you submit your lineup at 7:59, it's valid, right? So you can
also can.
You first.
Yeah, it's the same with the maps. Like you pick the home team picks them up, the guest team picks them up, and when you tell your enemy that map, that's up to you two. Like as long as you tell them before which map is picked, everything is valid.
So you can actually surprise your opponent. You don't have to.
Yeah, but you'll also be surprised. So I'll take that against all. Yeah.
So replays have to be enabled. I believe that's an obvious one. Maybe not. We hope so, because replays are very, very important for actually like I don't know what word.
For
like
disputes
tracing
again.
and tracking for actually making sure something happens.
For dispute. Like if you don't have it enabled and you want to dispute something, don't come to us. Like, if you don't have a replay, only one of course has to submit the replay.
No, Mr. Jajik, you have to actually submit your lineup before you go into battle.
But you can submit it between the matches, like you can submit the lineup for the first match and second and so on.
So you can change your lineup between the matches, but you have to submit a lineup. So lineup for match 1 have to be submitted for match 1. Once match 1 is played, you may change your lineup, then you submit your lineup for match 2, then match 2 is played, and so on.
You can also submit all lineups at the start, like for 1, 2, and 3 if you want. It just needs to be before the actual battle.
Yeah, technically, but I would prefer doing it on a match-by-match
basis. What you prefer is irrelevant. It's allowed. That's what he asked for. Because I know that TTT prefers to submit all the lineups at once.
Okay.
Yeah, that's allowed.
Well, replays have to be enabled. Use some mod packs or whatever to enable replays. Also, to ease the process, please take like screenshots from the lineups in the beginning. If you believe your enemy like countered your lineup or cheated on the lineups, this is way faster than like starting a replay, and have a look into it. Also, replays can be requested on the first 2 minutes because like disconnects or incorrect spawn settings, both teams agree on it. I don't know where that is in.
Yeah, it's in the same as last time. Also, we had some problems with it last time, like there was a lot of restarts. If there's too many restarts and you suspect some foul play, or it just takes so long for your taste, you can tell us, and we most likely will say you can have 2 restarts, and the third will be played regardless. In case this ever happens, just as a heads up. But it's not explicit in the rules, because again, we trust you guys to communicate that between yourselves.
Yeah,
but,
fair
you can come to
sportsmanship
us
and
with us.
such like.
Yeah.
Also, suboptimal spawns like, or rather incorrect CV spawns in case of what was the mode called? Domination mode or something? Like, if somehow the CV spawns in the middle of the map, right, that's also a reason for restart. Well,
Shouldn't happen, but
shouldn't, yeah.
who knows what
maybe
wargaming
we do
changes in the
changes
maps.
or new maps maybe with like old parameters or something.
Yeah, in tournament maps it should be fine normally.
Yeah, should be,
Yeah.
but who knows. Also, well, beyond the first 2 minutes, you basically agreed on the maps and on the settings. Like, well, you didn't request a like restart, so you have agreed on it on default. Disputes, well, also if you don't participate in 2 game days, well, we cut you out. Basically, you're then inactive and don't have like enough players to play or whatever. So we just reduce confusion and like Aufwand, what's the word for it? The work we have to put
Effort.
into it to actually, the effort, we have to reduce the effort in order for your team or for other teams in order you to submit like the dates and teams to your team. Like if you're inactive, that's not really what everyone wants to do, right?
We
So
also
just-
don't allow this for the reason of a team deliberately not playing against another opponent. For example, if they think, oh no, I can't win against the top 3 clans and I won't play against these 3 clans, we don't allow that either.
Exactly.
And
Well,
that's the right to disqualify. It's only a right. Like if you have valid reason for that many days, I mean, we might allow it, but just keep that in
depends
mind.
on the admin in your team, right? So if you
Yeah.
come to me, I will likely just say, well, you're not worth the effort.
Also, yeah, since you mentioned that, we'll most likely have 1 admin per league. That is basically the mother duck for that league.
So you have something like a go-to guy for your problems. I mean, you can still go to the other guys, but that's your main person to go
Contact for questions, yeah.
to.
But
Exactly.
we'll announce that later. But just as well as a heads up.
Also, if a team is disqualified for whatever reason, all the points gained in matches against the team will be erased. Some people don't like it, we know, but it's actually, I mean, we only have 2 possibilities in a case that one team leaves. Basically, everyone gets a win against them or everyone gets a lose against them, and we decided for the latter. So basically, it's still fair. And again, we trust you to be reasonable, and well, this is all friendly competition, and we hope you're all sportsmanlike and don't do stupid things.
Main goal is to let you play and to let you play uninterrupted. Those are what the rules are for, and nothing more.
Okay.
Right.
Point 4, which is actually the last point in the rules. First one being streaming regarding super weekends. For those who don't know, we had 1 super weekend in season 1, which basically means a lot of matches being played on 1 weekend, like KOTS. Like we have 1 weekend full of games and matches. We tried to do that at 2 times in season 2. Like, I mean, lots of clans and teams like the freedom they have in making the dates and times with the enemy team, right? We have like 1 week to play, and we can communicate, and we can find the best possible date and time for both teams. However, for streamers, that is not always the best thing, because you have like 1 game each day, which is not always a good thing. So, which is why we introduced such super weekends.
Where we basically schedule from like the usual like 4 p.m. to like 8 p.m. Games throughout, and then we have the streamers that stream the entire day. Of course, you won't be playing more than 1. each team won't be playing more than one game per week. But in that way, we have the streamers covered as well.
Yes. Also, it's on a volunteering basis, so you don't have to participate. We just really want you to participate. In fact, the first weekend is going to be a super weekend, meaning on the first weekend after the league will start, there will be a super weekend, and we hope there will be a lot of teams participating in that super weekend, which will be a lot of fun and well, a lot of games to watch and a lot of things to do. Which means there are some rules for those super weekends, like the 10-minute timer set as before is, well, basically we want you to be on point, especially on that super weekend. You may delay on other days, but delaying on the super weekend is actually not possible because, well, streamers are going to stream your matches, so delaying is actually not really possible. We try to work around it if it happens, but we hope it will not.
Yeah, we have a tight schedule and we basically need to keep it on that day. But it will be a bit more relaxed thinking of the sea probably, because we don't have like teams chaining games. So we just have like all different teams playing parallel.
Yeah. So like we have to actually announce that between the I mean after the registration time is closed, we have to actually start making preparations for the first super weekend, right? Like assembling participants and such, right? So
Yeah.
it's actually being quite close with 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. So, and the last point, sportsmanship. Well, we have said it multiple times during the stream. We hope you will all be playing fair and with common sense, but there are some things we do not accept, like soft playing or like insults, racial ethic comments, spamming, trolling, whatever. There will be a lot more or faster and harder punishments for such things because they are actually not well, not a good thing to do and to tolerate.
There I have a question. Is it, or only gets the player that like offended someone punished, or the whole clan?
That depends
Can
on
you
how
scroll
much.
down a bit for that?
No, scroll down. There's actually a sentence on that on the next page. That maybe this is not intentional. That this sentence is on the next page. Just happened.
Right, it's the last basically sentence of the entire thing.
Genau.
So I got it.
So, right.
Yeah.
So basically, as those on the stream can see, all kinds of offensive language will be punished. Punishment will start from banning the person which insults for X games, which is punishment for a single person. But if such person keeps like doing stupid things and insulting other people, then the team may lose points for that. So there is room for team punishment.
Yeah, we'll of course decide on a case-by-case basis. For example, if the team captain keeps insulting everyone on Discord, of course the team will get the loss of points. Or if it happens again and again, or if multiple people from that team do it, and so on. Like we'll decide on a case-by-case basis. But unlike last time, we will have a punishment, and we will start dishing out punishments way earlier than last time, because that was the concern that a lot of players had, that we were too soft with some of the punishments and too slow. And this time we'll most certainly go more after those people who don't play in sense of fair sportsmanship. Well, that's all this paragraph is about.
Indeed.
I guess that's all about the rule set.
Guess so. We just needed 1 hour.
That is just for you.
1 hour and 50 minutes, huh?
You started late.
Nope.
Any questions from the stream that we haven't answered during the entire thing?
Also, we have a Q&A channel on Discord. You may use it to ask questions in English or something.
Yeah.
And I will put the video also on my YouTube channel, so you can just rewatch it.
Yep.
So
And we won't answer with watch the stream anymore.
So actually,
for
there
stream.
seems some points in the German stream regarding the 9v9 default in the upper league. Just to
Yeah, but,
repeat it, I'm sure we did mention it here, but just to be sure, you can play 9 versus 9, but both teams have to agree. And given that that the teams in the top leagues are going to they want to play 9 versus 9, 9 versus 9. Sorry. and they actually have the player base to do so. We believe this is a valid point that we actually have the 7 versus 7 only as a fallback to actually unify
basically
the rules.
we had said before that this was for unification of rules because we want the same rules for all leagues. Because as I said, this was a concern before, and so the default has to be 7 versus 7 because obviously some League 6 or 5 clans can't field 9 versus 9, while all 9 versus 9 clans can obviously field 7 versus 7 as well. So the default, if teams can't get on the same page, will be 7 versus 7, but we expect like League 1 to 3 to pick 9 versus 9 most of the time.
Exactly.
But as I said, that's up to it. Alright,
So-
that's it, I think.
one last question I had, but I'm not
Yes.
sure if I can remember it. No, I think I just forgot it.
Well, just ask in the Q&A channel and we will answer.
Yeah, it was kind of not a stupid question. It was, well, whatever. Yeah, I'm probably asking if I come back to it.
Mr. Jajek, if that happens, 7 versus 7 is the fallback and you have to actually go to 7 versus 7 in that case. 9 versus 9 is only played if and only if both teams agree on 9 versus 9.
Yeah. If one team wants 7 versus 7, then that's picked, and unfortunately there is no discussion there. Unless we decide to make a split like rule set for League 1 to 3 and then 4 to 7 ourselves. But we don't really want to do that at this point.
Exactly. We unify the rules for a reason and we like to stay that way.
At least for now. If the feedback is too negative, then maybe. But the feedback last time was negative about having rules. So if the feedback is now again negative about having unified rules, that would be a bit weird. So we'll see how it goes for now.
I can remember the question, but I think I know already the answer. Because last season there was in the lower leagues it was allowed to bring all kind of lineups. So, but
Yeah.
this time it's just fixed to this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We unify the rules and based on
Nice
that,
side
it's
reason.
not possible to bring like 5 Benzes in one game.
It was more
Yeah.
5 Bismarcks if I can remember.
Well, yeah.
That happens too, yeah.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, that's fine. All I wanted to ask. It was fun to watch though. Don't get me wrong.
True.
True.
Okay, yeah, then that's all for now, I guess. So for all the upcoming announcement, we have you have the Discord channel, I guess. Q&A. You already said it. So I can only thank all for watching. Thank you guys for bringing all the good stuff up here, and yeah,
You're welcome.
have a good
True.
evening.
You too. Have a good
Good day.
weekend.
Rest.
And don't forget to register.
Yeah, the registration starts in 1 week, like 8 days on Monday.
And
So
just-
don't forget to sign up.
There we go. Registration date 21st of August 2017. Don't forget that.
We'll ping it enough. Don't worry.
Ding 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 ding. Spam incoming, spam incoming. Okay. Yeah guys. So thanks for watching. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Yeah.